lot to talk about. A lot of things have happened. Where do we begin, man? Where do you want to begin?
Topics
wise, we could talk about Jake Paul.
That's where I think we should start. That's okay. I feel like that's for you. That brings all your worlds together,
bro. How unplugged do you feel from the world?
We're this late?
Like just after like the fucking past 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Like I don't even know anything that's happened. I'm reading some of these stories. I'm like, that happened?
Yeah.
Where was I?
I don't know shit. I still don't know what day it is.
Yeah, dude.
I really don't.
I thought today was Saturday.
What?
It's Wednesday. I was working out today thinking it was Saturday. Literally, the trainer goes, so we're going to see you guys Saturday? And I'm like a week from now? And he goes, no, that's like a few days from now. And I was just like, nah, man, I'm joking. Like, I got to play off that I'm that detached from the world. But, man, shit has been crazy. Okay, so we can talk about Jake Paul. We can talk about Chappelle also.
Oh, yeah.
You got to talk about Logan Mayweather.
Logan Mayweather.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jake. Let's talk about Jake first, and Jake and Nate Robinson. I was very impressed with Jake.
Yeah.
The kid can actually box.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been trying to explain to a lot of motherfuckers. In a boxing match, not a street fight. You know who might win a street fight between Nate and Jake? Nate. He might win that street fight. In a street fight, you have 2 punches thrown, and then people grab each other, and then it becomes a wrestling match, generally speaking. Right? Because if you notice at the beginning of the fight, a punch is thrown, then they're hugging each other, the ref breaks it up. Ain't no ref breaking you up in a street fight. Once you hugging somebody, it's who's got more brute strength or who's got more like wrestling or jujitsu, that kind of shit, and shit's going to the ground. But a boxing match, whoever has more experience boxing is going to win that.
Yeah.
Okay? Because a non-boxer usually can't throw a punch hard enough to concuss somebody. And if they can, it's this big looping punch, and anybody who's been in the ring is not getting caught by one of those punches.
Right.
The reason is boxing, when you're in a fight, right? You're learning how to throw punches, you're learning how to do all these things, but you're also learning how to be comfortable in a wildly uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
It's a sauna, okay? And the more comfortable you are in that situation, the more of an advantage, an extreme advantage that you have, right? Nate was freaking out in there. He didn't know what the fuck to do. I actually think Nate got knocked out during sparring for preparation for the fight. Because
Wait, what do you mean?
His confidence, that is the most confident athlete I've ever seen, Nate Robinson. He's 5'9", and he was trying to dunk on NBA athletes.
Yeah.
He was afraid of nobody. He thought on every team he was on, he should be taking every single shot. And he walked into that ring terrified. Even before he's like, I'm not just going to lay down. I'm going to go out there and fight and say, why are you talking as if you're the underdog?
Yeah.
You're the athlete. You're the dunk champion. Everybody thinks you're going to win. But you're speaking as if you think you're going to lose.
He did lay down, though.
He laid the fuck down, ready to go.
But he went in there, he had a height disadvantage, had a reach disadvantage, so he was probably looking at himself as the underdog.
Also like an experience.
He's had a height disadvantage, a reach disadvantage his entire life. And he's looking at this kid like he's some Disney star. And to be fair to Nate, there's no video outside the sparring footage that came out recently of Jake Paul doing anything that's like really damaging in the ring. Then that sparring footage came out, and the kid can fucking throw. Like, knockout power is knockout power.
He's not the same one who fought that KSI dude?
That's his brother
That's the
Logan.
one who's fighting Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
Okay.
So, so he's in there, and boxing, again, like I'm saying, you are in an uncomfortable situation. The more comfortable you can be in that situation, the greater advantage you have. And to Jake's credit, he caught him all 3 times with step back overhand rights. They're counter punches. What happens when there's an unskilled boxer is you often like lunge at your opponent, right? So what they'll teach you to do is take a quick step back and then throw often a straight right. But he threw this overhand right every single time, caught him. That is a move of strategy and technique. That's not luck. And he caught him 3 times, same punch. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he executed on it. And you got to give credit to that motherfucker. And I'll be honest, if I'm him, I'm calling out, and he kind of did this recently, I'm calling out you have to call it specific genre of folks. You have to call it people who are famous enough to non-boxing fans, but not YouTubers.
Right.
If the fight is just on YouTube, Logan Paul KSI, the world doesn't care. It will do great numbers. People will be into it, but the world doesn't talk about it. You go after an athlete or musician that are famous to the world, and usually athlete, the only musicians you could really go after would have to be like super thug gangsters.
Yeah.
Because that's like, you're testing their gangster in a way. Like if you're going after John Mayer, no one's going to give a fuck. Right? But if you call out Antonio Brown,
ooh,
you know what I mean? Athletes, you always going to side with the athlete because you're like, well, they're an athlete. They have this incredible athleticism.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown be hitting people too. He got a history of abuse. You know what I mean?
Antonio Brown's getting knocked the fuck out.
He's been getting knocked out for a while too.
That's right. That's not going to be the first time. You're going to be laid out. I'll say this.
He got so much CT, he'll probably walk through a concussion like a zombie.
Yeah, that's
like a fucking White Walker. Just keep coming at you.
So I really think if Jake fights anybody who doesn't have any experience, specifically boxing, I think that he knocks him out, or he at least beats them in potentially a boring fight.
To that end, while we're talking about the Paul brothers, do you want to talk about Jamil Hill and Jake Paul?
They asked a joking question, like Jamila Hill asked this joking-ass question when she was interviewing Jake. She's like, was it racist that you knocked him out? Now, she asked it joking.
She's kidding. That's
kidding.
what I was noticing.
So is Carrie Champion. They're both kidding because Carrie followed up with the same question.
Okay, because I thought she got, when she was like, why is that a stupid question? When Jake Paul was clearly annoyed, I was like, she's either trolling him, which is odd and seems out of character for her,
Right.
or she's getting a little annoyed that he's getting annoyed, and she was like going to make it a real thing now.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I don't know if Jamila Hill has the equity built up to ask a question like that as a joke, because that's literally what she does for a living.
Yeah.
Is kind of ask those questions. Like, she wakes up in the morning and then she's like, it's racist today. Where's it at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why is it racist? Why is cold out in summer? Is that
You ever
racism?
see the guys on the beach with the thing and the headphones and that machine,
metal
that
detector?
the metal detector?
She got the
She's
racism
detector on Twitter all the time. Just beep, 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 beep.
So that's her thing, and I get it, man. It's like you lean into what pays the bills,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like she, achieved a lot of success, like leaning into that. But eventually, you got to be careful that you don't become a caricature of yourself.
Yeah.
Like in order to keep your audience honest, it's important to challenge them. At least that's what I think. So because if you don't, then you're just kind of caught up in this like positive feedback loop, but you have to go more and more extreme in order to get that same reaction. Right? So it's like, oh, okay, so we called this racist. Well, I've already done that. What's not racist but is?
So I thought this was her kind of trying to pivot out of becoming that caricature.
Yeah.
And people weren't having it. They were just like, no, she's got to be serious. This is Jamil Hill.
Yeah. I know she's joking.
Yeah.
But this is what you do. So now all of a sudden you're a comedian?
Yeah.
And also it's corny.
Boy, you cry wolf.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. It was just corny, bro. It's like it's like clearly he got called out. I'm sorry to interrupt, but like Nate called out Jake. If Jake was out there calling out Nate and he was like, I'm gonna beat your black ass and all this other shit, like he tried to make it a little racist in some way, sure. But like you're literally only saying this because the kid's white.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought he handled it well too. He was like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have said, yeah, it's racist. It's racist. The black guy asked if he could beat the shit out of me, and I decided to defend myself.
Yeah.
So, he is racist. Nate Robinson is racist. Yeah. If Nate Robinson liked black people more, he wouldn't have gotten slept. Like, that's super racist for him not to fight for y'all.
He let us down, son.
Did you feel let down?
Son, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, at least put up somewhat of a fight.
I don't know.
Like, he was just running in there with
Are
his
you aware
hands
with-
down, like head first. Like,
Are you aware how much black people think they could beat up every white person? Is that a thing you're aware of?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, living with black
Why do
people.
you think I could beat you in a race?
They really don't think there's a single white person on earth they couldn't beat up.
Why have things worked out the way they have? Is this a new phenomenon? Like what's going on? Is that for real?
It's a real thing.
No, it's a real thing.
Really?
It's a real thing, yeah.
That's fascinating.
yeah.
Definitely.
Are you reevaluating your whole life?
It's like astonishing to me.
My old roommate, he was a big dude, but he was legit like, I could take like 5 or 6 of them. Like the way I talk about fighting like 9-year-olds,
Yeah.
that's how he talked about fighting white people his own age.
I never thought it was that. I thought that they were like white people. They're just afraid of black people because they have like a bigoted view of black people, right? So like they're white people that just wouldn't fight a black guy,
Yeah.
because of their own bigotry,
Yeah.
right? But I never knew black people just thought they could beat up every white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think
It's like dancing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like
Now, see, the dancing, I believe, to a
That's
large
the
degree.
difference we think we have.
Interesting.
And what did this fight do to that, you think?
I mean, Nate could get him.
Run it back?
Yeah, you gotta run that back.
Yo,
You
son, if
gotta run
I'm
that
Nate,
back.
I'm running it back.
Yeah,
But like,
he
I'm
got
training
him.
for a year.
He got to.
Yeah, and Nate is an athlete, so he can pick shit up.
Killed his reputation.
Yeah, Nate got to run
He
that
rolled
back.
with it, though. He leaned into the jokes. He had his fun, was just like back on Twitter, taking it. I
Was
would
he?
have been in fucking hiding. Yeah, he said something on Instagram the next day that was just like acknowledging.
You
he
have
got
been
his
in
ass beat.
hiding for real?
Yeah, bro, I'd have been quarantined again.
Yeah, you'd have to be in a dark room for probably 6 or 7 days.
Yeah,
like a concussion like that. It just in general.
Wait till symptoms go away before you come back outside. 10 days.
I'm surprised, actually.
Oh boy. Okay, what else we got going on, guys? What else is happening?
Matthew McConaughey called out the liberals. Keep scrolling if you want to.
What's Matthew McConaughey up to? Is he trying to podcast or something? He's
I think
pivoting.
he wants to get into politics.
Yeah, there's something. He's pivoting.
Did he say he was going to try to run for something?
He's doing politics. I knew there's something.
He
man.
might try to run for Texas governor, and
That's
this
what
is
it was.
a brilliant way to get votes in Texas. To call out and to say he says I'm aggressively centrist. That's a term he uses. And then he called out. If you guys don't know, he called out basically Hollywood liberals who are making fun of Republicans who won't accept the election results.
Yeah.
And he's like, I saw you, this exact person, liberal person, do this when Trump won. Now all of a sudden, Republicans are doing it and they're idiots and you're so condescending and arrogant about it. All the shit we've been saying, to be honest.
Right.
But it's also kind of nice to watch a Hollywood elite call out Hollywood elites. You know what I mean? And it's like a good sign that this is all kind of like, all right, this thing, we're calling it out.
Yeah, he's making a move. Man, I don't know what's going to happen to Hollywood, bro. Like, I think that shit...
It's moving to Austin, buddy.
Yeah, low key.
Elon Musk is coming.
Yo, a lot
Rogan is there.
A lot of people are coming. Let me just put it
Silicon
that way.
Valley on its way. Goldman is moving to where, Duff? Florida, bro. They're all moving to the red states.
Goldman
Sachs.
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. That's just like California's GDP is always so high or whatever. I don't think it's about to plummet. I think slowly, like big dogs are just going to keep moving. Why would you pay those taxes? And Austin is the perfect place because they have mostly liberal ideals, but you don't pay taxes.
Yeah, it's everything they want.
Do you think that shifts the political paradigm in those liberal
course.
places?
Yes, of course.
They
Yes.
see everyone leaving, they go, we got to pull this shit back.
And then all of a sudden in like California, New York, people are starting to go, well, shit, I guess we got to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. You know what I mean? Nobody's bailing us out. I guess we got to figure it out ourselves. What if there's this massive flip?
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Wow.
Texas,
Everyone wants to live in Republican states.
Nobody does? Or
You know,
what?
everyone does.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
And then what I'm saying is California going to turn
red?
Yeah.
I don't
That
know.
is interesting.
If you're like a California like Republican like nominee or whatever,
Yeah.
I feel like this is your best chance. You know what I mean? Like if you're
to go for it
if
politically.
you're running for Senate or
Yes,
something in
100%.
California and you're Republican, you're like, yo,
100%.
I'm not what's moving everyone out. Like
There's something that happened within this election. I think people have spoken about this before, but like Trump lost, but Trump policy didn't.
yeah.
A lot of people became open-minded about conservatism. And I think that this was the first time that it all of a sudden became relatable. Trump was so polarizing. Trump was so divisive that like they were kind of like grossed out by Trump, the figure. But I think a lot of liberals were just exhausted by like the Nancy Pelosi's of the world and these like full life politicians that just absolutely suck and they're just mucking about with this system. It seems like they're kind of like using it for their own personal benefit right? Or party benefit rather. And I think they became a little disenfranchised with the left, man. And I would not be surprised if you see in the next few, like, what is it called? The midterm elections, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you see people start leaning right, man. Leaning right. Especially now that the president isn't right. So there's going to be a correction because of that, right? There's going to be this, like, reaction. They didn't get their way, so they're going to lean super hard and try to
I think
flip.
Biden is an indication of that he's kind of a moderate. I mean, he's much more of a lifetime politician, but he's kind of a moderate Democrat.
That's the
relatively.
thing, bro. It's a rejection of the Bernie shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I fucks with Bernie, but it's a rejection of like the AOCs. It's a rejection of the squad. Like, even Democrats were like, nah, this is not the thing that we like.
I think we think Democrats are just New York and just LA, and Democrats are also the ones that get you elected. They're in the middle of the country. And the middle of the country is only so left wing. They're not coastal, where it's like, yeah, AOC's everything. That's perfect. She's perfect. They're like, nah, she's a little crazy. But I generally agree with the left more than the right.
Yeah.
That's a middle America Democrat. Joe Biden, hey, I'm not here trying to fucking defund the police completely or whatever.
Yeah.
I just want police to be a little better. And that's how middle America feels, regardless of how we feel. That's how I think a lot of middle America feels.